I got quoted $24,000 for a basic remodel of this bathroom. I'm talking a new tub shower surround, vanity, and some paint. I looked at my husband and I said, absolutely not. I will be doing this myself and saving us $20,000 here. So make sure you follow along, subscribe, like this video to see how amazing this bathroom is turning out to be. Hello, welcome to today's video. I started this vanity build out probably a month ago at this point. It has taken so much of my time. There's been lots of mistakes and lots of learning for this, of course, but I want to go over what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, so then that way if you guys want to be able to make a version of your own, you are able to do that. So here I'm using the table saw to cut down the 1x6s into two separate parts of the leg that are going to be a butt joint, which I will go over in just a second. There's a few different ways to do it, and the way I thought I was going to do it was not the way I ended up doing it. For the legs of the vanity, I am doing a butt joint. So a butt joint is when two pieces of wood butt up against each other. A miter would be when they are cut at a 45, each piece is cut at a 45-degree angle, and they would make like this seamless edge. So with a butt joint, there's many different ways that you could put it together. You could glue and brad nail. You could do pocket hole screws, which I absolutely love. You could also drill from the outside, so it would go this way. I am doing dowel pins. So what I'm doing is I am taking a Craig jig, putting it on opposing sides of the wood. So this side, drilling a hole into it, then wood glue, dowel pin's gonna go inside, and both sides of the board are going to have holes screwed into them. So this side, and then this side, and then of course, they would sit like this. Make some markers where we're gonna want our dowel pins at, every 6 inches or so. Because my legs are 33 inches, I'm gonna mark where 33 is on the board so I can make sure that I have enough per each board. One thing I will say that made this a little bit challenging is even though I lined up my holes and did the best that I could, the Craig jig that I used is not my favorite. There was little like indentations in this Craig jig that if I could go back, I would buy a different Craig jig, probably off like Amazon, that is flat across the entire piece, because it made it a little bit hard where the dowel pins were not fully centered. So definitely had to use the clamps here to my advantage to be able to really bring those dowels all the way in and just create that force to make it one solid piece. So I just cut the pieces for the face frame, the main square, and in between the drawers and the doors, I used 1x3s. In between the drawers, I used 1x2s. I personally like using pocket holes. They can be very easily concealed, especially if you're building something like this. You can put them on the inside, which they will never be seen, and you don't have to worry about them. When you have a hardwood like red oak, maple, you need to use fine thread screws. So apparently I don't remember my own build because clearly in between the drawer fronts and the cabinet doors is a 1x2. This is what happens when it takes you so long to do something because life gets in the way. This is not my full-time business and I would love for designing to be, but that's not where we're at right now. I find myself chuckling when I see how many times I measured and made sure things were square during this build because I so badly wanted it to be perfect. And this is the biggest piece of furniture I have ever built from scratch. And I was a 16th of an inch off on some of my measurements when we got the entire thing put together, which a 16th of an inch is not something that the average person would notice, but it can throw a lot of your other measurements off, like when you're building the drawer fronts. And that was fun, so we had to go back and redo some of it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this. We left off with the legs being built, needing to glue and adhere overnight. We're back a week later. We've got the face frame built out and the sides cut. Today, the goal is to build out the box of the frame, like build out the vanity frame and then put the supporting joists, if you will, in there as well. And then Saturday, we will be building out the drawer boxes and potentially the fronts. I'm waiting for the drawer slides and cabinet hinges to come in. I had to get those ordered. Let's get going with this, build it out. We've got the legs to cut down, screw the sides, put the face frame on, and get the joist done. So let's get to it. Me talking things out is part of the intention of this channel anyway, to teach you and educate you, especially women, how to do these things. Because there's so many men out there that do this full time, but I also know there's a lot of women like myself that don't want to be paying the men $25,000 for a bathroom that we could do. This may be common sense, but one thing that I always do is when I make my mark, I put an X on the side that I'm cutting to know that my blade needs to be on that side of the line. If you measure 33 inches and cut right on the line, you're going to be short. Okay, another thing that I did is on the plywood itself, I wrote outside on one side of the panel because that is the side that I want to be visible because it's got the nicest graining on it. Label your wood, okay? It's gonna make your life so much easier You can always erase it, okay? It's fine. Sand it down. Oh, my hands are cold. Anytime you are building furniture or wood, something with wood, use wood glue because that, along with screws or nails, is going to give you a much stronger bond, especially in areas where moisture is going to be present. Home Depot dad was in for the weekend, and this was a trick that he taught me. If you take the tool that you use to pre-drill something, you can use that in place of a countersink bit. I didn't have a countersink bit with me, and this piece of wood, I needed the screws to be countersunk because this is the side that the drawer slides were going to go on, so the screws need to be out of the way. So this is a trick that you can use too if you don't have that tool. And let me just say, after installing soft close side drawer slides, I never want to do it again because these things are so particular that I finally got to a point where I was like, you know what? They are good enough. They slide in and out. They're going to stick a little bit. It's fine. We did all of the tips and tricks and everything to get them to glide smoothly, but I did really want soft close because this is my daughter's bathroom and she is in the phase of slamming drawers and doors, so I don't want her fingers to get caught. Moving to the drawer boxes, this is probably one of the easiest ways I feel like to make drawers. Use a butt joint, then just glue and brad nail them together so the front and the sides literally just butt up against each other. Before you do this though, make a dado on one side of the drawer box. A dado is, think of kind of like a cutout. So you've got some of the wood that has been cut out or removed, and then the other side is kind of like a ledge. So then that way, when you cut the base of your drawer, it can just kind of rest on there, and then you brad nail glue it together to make it strong. That's what we did here. So we're measuring for what the base or bottom of the drawer size would be, so then we can use our 1/4 inch plywood. You could also bring the dado and make like a channel a little bit further up from the bottom, which is another way that I like to do. But the table saw was giving us some grief this day, so we just made it the easiest way possible. But then that way the base of your drawer can just slide in there, and then you would nail and glue the back piece or the last piece. If I'm being brutally honest, I absolutely hate the way this video has been filmed and edited. I did not get a lot of content. I'm actually done with the entire vanity right now, and it's stained and ready to be installed. I'm waiting on countertops. I just picked them out. But I was so focused on just getting this vanity done because it was taking me so long that I did not film most of it. So if you want a video in the future of how I did this, kind of walking step by step, I would be more than happy to do that. But in the meantime, while I'm waiting for our countertops, we're starting a new project because that's what I do. ADHD to the finest. So we're starting the master bedroom, going from college to adulthood. Very chic, sophisticated. So make sure you subscribe and come back for that one. Love you. Bye.